A gay man with a lot of girlfriends, the two most common complaints I hear from my single friends is one, that apps have ruined dating because guys never go up to girls anymore to ask them out, which they think is cool if guys have the confidence to go up to them. And the number two thing that they complain about is that it's creepy when guys go up to them because they're just trying to have a fun night with their girlfriends out at the bar. So do with that information what you will, and good luck in the dating world.
Fellas, one thing I've been really confused about growing up in this life is why so many men don't see women as risky. I don't understand why men don't see women as risky. Anything that is good in this world is behind a risk, behind a wall. All the finer things in life is not easy for you to grab. They're not in arm's reach. You've got to do something. Everything good in this life is behind a wall of some sort. The world has already been mapped out. All of the nice things is behind a wall, right? Maybe it's a pay wall. Maybe you have to pay for it. Or it's a wall for you to overcome. You've got to jump over this wall. Climb over this wall. Do something cool to jump over this wall. Take a risk. Take a risk. As human beings, when it comes to dealing with the opposite sex, we all make investments. We all take risks and we all gamble. Women have to take risks with men and men have to take risks with women. And the thing is, fellas, women take way bigger risks with us than we do with them. And this is the reason why women and even your mother do not care about the risks we have to face when dealing with them. The fact that men are in love and the women are in the business of love is due to this risk-reward discrepancy in the man's favor. It's not a moral issue. The fact that men are whimsically in love and the women are pragmatically in the business of love is due to this risk-reward discrepancy in the man's favor. So we are all investors, with the best of us making good investments and the worst of us making bad investments. Choosing to not invest in anything is a horrible investment and also a fallacy, because you are always investing in something, and you guys have chosen to invest in the path of least resistance, comfort, low-hanging fruit, avoidance, and excuses. Everything we choose to invest in shapes our future outright, and everything we choose to not invest in creates and delivers to us our karma. We will all have our karma to deal with because we cannot invest in everything. So we gamble on the probability and the hope that we have made the right investments in life. Realization of the wrong investments made is what we call regret, even shame. Most men understand this about life and the world, but they refuse to understand this about the woman, because the woman has been sold to them as cope. I'll say that again. The woman has been sold to them as a form of cope. Culture, socialization, and the myth of romantic love has promised the men that if they do X, Y, and Z, aka the hard things in life, and if they make themselves small and nice, aka a conformist, then they will finally experience something easy, aka the love of a woman.
The moment that a man gets big, powerful, joyful, there's something in a woman, usually, on some level, it could be very subtle, that gets afraid. And that it tracks back to just biological differences in power, strength, size, right? So if a man gets big, even if he's like happy, we're like, no, he just got real big. That is scary. He might hurt me now. Or for some of us who have neglect in our backgrounds, for example, or abandonment, it's like, oh, he's big and happy and self-sufficient, therefore he might leave me, right? So I better cut him down to take away that power, that happiness, whatever it is, so that the 5-year-old inside of me, or whatever that age group is that, you know, the ladies are dealing with, so that that young one feels safe again.
They have been sold that the love of the woman is like the love of their mother, the mother they had or the mother they did not have. And on this fated day that they are reunited with their mother or united with the woman, their perfect romantic match, their soulmate, their unicorn, who is unlike all other hard things in this life. It has been promised to them that when they finally meet this special magical other half, it will all be reward and no risk. For the first time in their life, they can have something easy. For the first time in their life, they will have something that is truly theirs. All reward and no risk. But this is cope. This is something told to men to keep them dreaming whilst they do all of the hard work. The truth is, everything about the woman is a risk. You might get her pregnant. You might catch a dangerous STD from her. She talks about your personal business behind your back and to anybody with an ear. She is emotionally unstable, deeply insecure, and always trying to prove things to herself. This makes her very promiscuous. She is very competitive and always jealous of other people and wants what other people have. So she is a creature of desire. She doesn't love you. She's obsessed with you, fixated on you. She has limerence with you. This love can turn to hate tomorrow, and hell have no wrath like a woman scorn. The woman is deeply spiteful. She will cut off her nose to spite your face. She will destroy herself if it means that it can successfully inconvenience you. All of these things are very risky. She's attracted to the taboo, so she's attracted to the wrong things and spends most of her life chasing things she should not chase. Very risky. Maybe she's sleeping with you to make her ex jealous, and maybe it's working. And maybe her ex is 6'5", violent, evil, and just as emotional as her. The reason why I'm telling you all of this, fellas, is because the woman is a risk from start to finish. But she's no different from any other risk that you will take in this life. The risk of the woman is no different from you quitting your job to go and start your own business, quitting your job to become an entrepreneur, just to become an entrepreneur in general. Everything that is good and enjoyable and that will truly regulate us, really and truly, it comes from hard work being done, taking risks. You are rewarded for your risk taking in this life, and you are punished for the lack of risks that you take. You are punished for sitting on the fence. So when I see things like half of the women want you to approach them and half of the women don't want you to approach them, this is nothing. This is just a small introduction to the risk-reward matrix of the woman. Everything about the woman is a risk. Me talking to you right now with this business, everything about this business is a risk. And it was a risk when I left my 2 jobs to start this, considering that I've got loads of children and different mothers of those children. Loads of people I'm responsible for. I had to make that risk. I had to make that gamble. And it paid off. When you're dealing with the woman, and like anything else in life that you want, which is good, the finer things in life, because the woman is a part of that category. She's definitely a part of the finer things in life. She is. And that's why I said in the intro, it's a wall for you to overcome. This is why women will literally create a wall and create a hurdle for you to overcome, because she knows that she is a part of the finer things in life. And she doesn't want to make it so easy for you. And you, yourself, as a man, you are also a part of the finer things in life for the woman. But failure to understand this means that you're not. Failure to understand this means that you can't make yourself into one of the finer things in life. We have a choice. We rank ourselves. We rank ourselves low rank or higher rank. Low hanging fruit or high hanging fruit. We rank ourselves these things, right? A homeless person can make himself into a part of the finer things in life for a woman, and they do. A rich billionaire can give themselves a lower rank and make themselves as not a part of the finer things in life for a woman. This is the reason why women create hurdles and make things hard for you. They want you to earn them, even if they're not something worth earning. Right? And this is what so much of game is about as well, right? I'm trying to teach you guys to make women earn you, even if you're not something worth earning. You, as a man, have to deal with the risk-reward equation when it comes to dealing with women, and you also need to present a risk and reward equation matrix for the woman to choose to take that risk, make a gamble on you. Honestly, the amount of men today, 50% of the women say that they don't want to be approached, and the other 50% of the men say that they want to be approached. I'm so confused. I'm in emotional distress. Which one is it? Do you want me to approach you, or do you not want me to approach you? The instructions are unclear. I don't want to end up in prison. It's like, fellas, you are so dominated by loss aversion. Have you men never done any crime before in your life? No crime? Have you guys ever broken any rules? Maybe for a bit of self-improvement, you need to have an arc of crime or something, because why are you such a conformist? Why can you not go against what is socially acceptable? Why do you need to wait for the women to tell you what to do? Do you understand that that is a disqualification process in itself? If you're looking for one clear, logical path with no confusion when you're dealing with a woman, you're not going to find it, because women purposely make themselves into a paradox. A woman will purposely make herself into a Rubik's Cube. She's counterintuitive. She's got to tell you one thing and then tell you another thing. Yes, because the woman is focused on controlling you, nothing else. Keeping you in a state of ambivalence, confusion is perfect for the woman to manipulate you and get you to do her bidding, distract you, create illusions, holograms, subversions, diversions. That's what the woman is all about. The woman is really, really focused on getting the things that she wants. All right. And so these structures of confusion, it's a disqualifying process. So you're disqualified from the jump. Why do you care? Stop caring what the women want. What consequence does it have? What's the big consequence? Your fear is incredibly irrational, fellas. It's a really, really irrational fear, right? I have been so audacious my entire life. I have been taking such risks when it comes to dealing with women, right? I've always said, in order to have true success with women, fellas, I think you know this deep down. In order for you to have an 8-woman rotation, a 12-woman rotation, in order for you to just deal with multiple women, maybe for most men, just to deal with 3 women, a 3-woman rotation, do you understand how much conflict you're going to have? Do you actually understand the amount of conflict and beef and altercations that you're going to have with so many people in general? With brothers, with dads, with friends. Do you get that? With sisters, with exes, with other men. Do you know how much beef you're going to have? Right? You know, when a man who becomes very successful with women, you grow social status. Having social status isn't just being rich or being a celebrity. Right? You can grow a social status by simply being very successful with women. Women talk, men talk. Your name will get passed around. Your name will be mythologized. Right? There will be a lore to you, and people will be coming up with stories about you. Right? So when you have this name from dealing with women, and where you're not conforming and you're not doing what is expected, you're going to develop notoriety. You know, you're going to be dealing with women. You're not going to be the boyfriends of these women. 2 years are going to go by. These women are going to go from love to hate. You're going to start developing enemies. These women's friends are going to start not liking you. People don't like it when you're smashing everyone's sister, cousin, girlfriend, ex. You're going to have beef, real beef, right? So when you're engaging with women in general, it is a risk to deal with women in general, right? And this is the reason why the men who have the most success with women are men who don't fear death and don't fear prison, don't fear the woman's reaction, don't fear beef with men. Right? They don't even fear the rules or the law, right? Because they're more reward dominated. They're not dominated by loss aversion. So this is the reason why the drug dealers and the criminals and the bad guys have all of the success. This is the true metric. If you actually pay attention and open your eyes, the best looking guys are not typically with the best looking women. They're not. Usually the best looking guys actually have women that aren't on their level. All right, so the best looking women, they're going somewhere, and they're not going to the best looking guys. They're going to approach and reward motivation people. Those guys who are highly ambitious, and those guys who fix their eyes on their prize, right? Fix their eyes on their prize and overcome whatever they need to overcome to get the things that they want, right? And usually the best of the best looking guys, they've been so pampered. They've been called pretty and beautiful their whole life. They're so pampered. They actually have a low reward drive. Like, their risk and loss aversion is more, they have more of a bias, more of a negativity bias. They would prefer to keep themselves safe and deal with women who are like safe options, right? Rather than overcoming challenges and hurdles and dealing with women who aren't safe options. So those women, the narcissists, the bipolar women, the craziest women, who are typically the most beautifulest, most attractive women who give the best head and have the best pussy, they typically go for the men who take the most risks, right? It's a better investment for the woman. We're all investors. We're all trying to invest in different things. And one of the things women invest in massively is a man who is willing and happy to take risks. This is the reason why women will get with criminals, knowing that they might go to the gym, because the payoff is high, right? Not the gym, to the jail, because the payoff is high, right? Maybe he reaches all of his goals and we're all rich, and I'll just say I didn't know what he was doing if we get caught. Or maybe he goes to prison, he goes to jail, and then I'll find another man to deal with, right? So they invest in men who take risks, and their testing mechanisms towards you is to see if you're willing to take risks, right? If you're dominated by loss aversion, they're not going to invest in you, because the women are dominated by loss aversion. They're attracted to polarity. So where they are so risk avoidant, right, they are attracted to, and they want to invest in men who are very reward and approach motivated, right? And this is also the reason why women will invest in, for example, your ambition. If you've got great ambition, strong perspective, strong psychology, vitality, and the plan that you're serious with, right? And this plan has to, is your higher calling. That's the type of plan that they're looking for. Then they know, okay, maybe you don't have it today, but you will have it one day. So I'm going to take a gamble and invest on him. If you're a man who has a lot of fear and anxiety, and you care about how you're being perceived, and you care about what people think about you, you're not going to have success with women, because what's going to happen is that that's also going to be projected onto the woman, and the woman is going to keep her dirty, slutty, animal side away from you because you care too much. You care too much. You're a goody two-shoes. You're a rule follower, right? And rule followers have a lot of shame, because it's the shame that regulates their behavior. Shame from doing immoral, bad things. So they follow rules, right? So when you're like that, all of that projects onto the woman. This makes you very judgmental as well. You're out there judging these guys and judging the types of women who sleep with these guys, right? And then what happens is that these women make you take them out on 6 dates, 8 dates before they give you any pussy, because you are a judgmental conformist with a lot of shame, and she doesn't want you judging her. She doesn't want you speaking to other people about her. She doesn't want to give it up on the first night because she's so afraid that you're going to think she's a hoe. Does it make sense? You see how all of this stuff happens, right? You care too much, but with the non-conformist guy, he doesn't care at all. The woman has a paradoxical relationship with care. Watch one of my older videos. I can't remember what it is, but I talk thoroughly and comprehensively about this. The woman has a paradoxical relationship with care. It requires so much nuance. You need to learn and understand how much care you should present. Because if you care too much, that's a really bad thing, right? And if you care too little, then there's no dynamic to be had. It's not going to be seductive enough. It's not going to be seductive to her. So you need to be very careful with how much care in general you have with women. How much you care for her, how much you care about other people's opinions, how much you care about things in general, right? Women are really attracted to men with a low level of care. A low level of care. Not no care, but a low level of care about things in general. All right. And so if you show this woman that you don't care about the rules, you don't care about what other people think about you, you don't care what she thinks about you, right? You're not afraid of her big brother. You're not afraid of her dad. You're not afraid of her mum, who's mean to you. You're not afraid to her friends who are mean to you. You're not even afraid of her boyfriend, right? You don't care, right? She reacts really positively towards that. This is why it's so easy for you. For example, if you go up to a lot of women, you know, you can, if a woman is with a guy and you start chatting her up with the guy there, you're going to go up in her estimation a little bit because she loves your risk and approach motivated behavior. She's like, wow, you don't give a shit. People who are very judgmental care too much. This is why women like men who aren't judgmental, who don't care too much. If you don't care much, you're not going to be judgmental. You don't really care, right? And if you don't care, she don't care, right? But if you care, then she cares. This is how it works, fellas, right? But if you don't care, she don't care, right? As soon as she can, women, you have no idea, and you guys don't know this. It's kept away from you. Remember, I said the finer things in life is kept away from you. You guys who are unwilling to do the work, to overcome the hurdles, to take the risks, you don't even know what life is like on the other side of that wall. You don't even understand what life is like over there. You don't understand how slutty, how going, how sexual women are, how much they love the taboo, how promiscuous they are, how much they want to give you head whilst you're driving, want to sleep with you in broad daylight behind a bin, want to sleep with you in the toilet. They specifically want to do naughty things, quite frequently, actually. You know, but because of who you are, because you care too much for the rules, her opinion, her emotions, other people, she can't do that with you because now she cares too much. And remember, fellas, what the woman wants to do, the reason why it's important that you can't care too much is because she wants to raise your care. What the woman finds seductive and fun and rewarding is changing you from something to something. So you need to care little so she can use her seduction tools and her superpowers to make you care a lot. She wants to raise your care, just like your arousal. She wants to raise your arousal. She doesn't want you to knock on the front door with a tent pitched in your trousers already. She wants to raise your arousal. That's seductive to the woman, right? So she wants to raise your care, your arousal, your investment, your interest, the degree of intimacy you have, the amount. She wants to increase everything. That's what she wants to spend her time doing. Fellas, you really have to understand this. Yeah? This is a thing a lot of people don't understand with the players, right? So, for example, whoever your local player is in your area, all women use him for the same things, right? So when they've broken up with their boyfriend, right, and they just want to get smashed out or get back at him, because the woman really believes that she's not being a hoe for you, if that makes sense. Like she really believes she's making a massive sacrifice because she could have all of this fun and sleep with all of these guys and have all of these pleasures, and she's not doing it for you, right? And so when you break up with her, that's the first thing she goes to go and do, and it's a form of punishment towards you because she knows how much you care. Right, and so with the players, when a woman wants to just discreetly get doggy styled, and they do, they're very sexual, right? So when they want to just discreetly get doggy styled, they go to the player, right? When they just feel like sucking some dick tonight, they go to the player. When they want to have discreet sex, they go to the player. All of them, they all choose the same guy, right? And they do this because they know he doesn't care. So he's not going to, he's quite a low-key guy. He's dodgy himself, so he doesn't speak people's business. Remember when I told you guys, right? Like with me, I'm not really big on trading personal information, right? There's a bigger whole thing to that, right? I've been rewarded by that because women love that. Women love that I'm low key, right? And I don't tell them shit. I'm just busy in it. I'm doing something in it. They're trying to find something out. I'll turn it into a joke and I'll get out of there somehow. They like that, right? And so when it's time for them to do some low key stuff with me, or low-key stuff with someone, they'll choose me because they know I don't talk. They know that I'm not that excited. They know that I don't even tell my boys about the women I'm dealing with. As soon as they figure out these things, then I'm selected. I'm pre-selected, basically, right? They know other women like me, right? They've heard of the rod. They know how crazy this rod makes women, right? So I'm already pre-selected. And they also know that I don't talk and I don't care. I don't care. I do what I'm doing. So I'll be selected for them when they want to go and do things behind closed doors. Right, and I've said this to you before as well. For example, you've got to really understand the dynamics of this, right? The way most men treat fat girls is how I treat 8, 9s, and 10s. I'm back roads with 8, 9s, and 10s. I have to be back roads with 8, 9s, and 10s. Literally back roads. I can't be seen out in public with this 8, 9, or a 10. Why? Because I've got other things going on. I'm sorry, you're going to have to be treated like a fat girl. At night time in back roads, no main roads. So I'm literally sneaking with 8, 9s, and 10s. Right? But a lot of men, you can't fathom that. You want to take pictures of 8, 9s, and 10s. You want to get in a picture, a group picture, put it on your Instagram. You want to show the whole world. You want to go here, there. You want to show everybody that you got this 8, 9, and 10. Well, then how are you supposed to compete with someone like me who back roads it? But anyway, what I'm going to finish off the video on this. I'm going to give you some game, all right, at the end of this video, all right? So I've been talking a lot about risk and reward. And at the end of this video, I want to cover some ways that you can minimize the risk, though. You want to learn how to minimize the risk. These things that I'm telling you about, right, it's not to boast. I'm letting you know I've put in the hard yard. I've put in the work. I've put in the graft. I've put in the shift. I've done it already. I've had my conflict. I've slayed dragons. I've done the work. So because I've done all of the work, I've taken all of those risks, I've got all of these rewards today, right? So let's watch this video, and I'm going to give you some little advice about how to improve your business to where you can cultivate something that is more reward.
I want to talk a little bit about the internalized vilification of male desire. It's a lot of words. Hi, I'm Riston Roberts. I'm a surrogate partner and intimacy expert. And I work with a lot of men in my practice, and I've noticed that younger men, specifically Gen Z and younger millennials, tend to have a lot of fear about accidentally violating a woman's consent without their knowledge. And that fear is so intense and so emotionally overwhelming for them that a lot of them just don't talk to women at all. There's nothing wrong as a man with feeling physical or emotional desire towards women. That's not evil or wrong. If you're straight, it's kind of what you're wired to do. That's why we have human beings on this planet. God bless it. A metaphor I would use is I think a lot of younger men are trying to learn how to run before they can walk, especially with our younger generation of men where there was a lot more social isolation due to COVID and just people growing up on the internet. I would encourage you to find ways to make friends with women. And even before friends, you could try making community with women. Some ways you can do this are getting involved in co-ed sports or groups, mutual aid, faith-based organizations, unions, political groups, environmental activism, anything that you feel strongly about, whether it's just like a fun thing that you are excited about, like Ultimate Frisbee or renter rights. Either one, you're going to meet people in those spaces with similar interests as you. And even though I know that you really want a girlfriend, I'm going to ask you to pump the brakes and learn how to just be, number one, in community with women as people, as comrades. Number two, forming friendships with women. And then from there, once you learn that women are just people, they might start to be a little less scary for you. And from there, you can work on navigating dating and relationships once you build that foundational confidence.
Fellas, you need to make female friends. You need to make female friends. I don't know what's going on with Gen Z and people in general, why men are so isolated, but you guys are forced to you guys only have, 2-3 ways of dealing with women, right? Dating apps or cold approaching. That's it. Dating apps. So it's all cold? Where is your social life? You don't have a social life. Do you know how much more easier your life would be if you had a vibrant social life? You need female friends. Women are the pillars of a vibrant social life. You can't have a vibrant social life without women. Simply make female friends. Stop just speaking to attractive women. You should have unattractive women friends as well. I've always spent my life around unattractive female friends and attractive female friends. Women I had sexual access to, and women who were like my woman exclusively, but kind of. That's it. You'll see me with an 8, 9, or a 10 friend, and you'll see me with a 5, 6. Who cares? Women are valuable. you're punished for only valuing women in one way. You men who only value women for their sexuality, how beautiful they are, you're punished. It's like your karma for you not having any of these women, because you kind of need to be pre-selected in order for you to have 8, 9s, and 10s. Right, and on top of that as well, 8, 9s, and 10s, they engage in entanglements. They're not really that interested in stray dogs who cold approach them. They might entertain you, or they might use you to boost up their self-esteem, but they're doing that before heading back into entanglements that they're actually genuinely engaged with. And what's an entanglement? It's a guy in her social life, is a guy that she's been entangled with probably other people as well. Right? 8, 9s, and 10s, you know, they're too busy sleeping with their best friend's ex, sleeping with their sister's ex, sleeping with the man that their friend likes, right? Sleeping with their best friend, their player best friend. 8, 9s, and 10s, they're deep in entanglements, right? It's like Jada Pinkett Smith, right? You would have had a couple of dons been like, Jada, I know you're not with Will. I know you're not with Will. I'm trying to do a thing with you. Right, and they don't understand why they're not getting anywhere with Jada. Jada might allow them to take him out on dates here and there, and that's it. Right, but they're not getting anything. They don't understand why she keep rejecting me. I know she's not with Will. Yeah, that's because she's super engaged with the entanglement of her son's best friend. Her son has a best friend, and he looks good, and this is just so much more seductive to her than anything else. And he's not well, and he needs help. Oh, this is perfect. This is so much more compelling, juicy, and seductive for her. An entanglement. All right? So, like, 8, 9s, and 10s, they don't really like stray dogs. You need to have a social life. She wants to see your social life, and she wants to come into your social life. Right? But so many of you men who cold approach, think about it, fellas, most cold approachers and pickup artists, they have mental health issues. Right? Because you shouldn't be past a certain age out every night at a nightclub still. Like, what is that? Arrested development? Psychological cyclical behavior? Well, what do you mean? Oh, yeah, I've been approaching 6 women a week for the past 15 years. What are you talking about? There's something wrong with you. Right? You're running away from something. You're not facing something. You know, you obviously don't have a life of linear progression. You are consistently kind of just, your whole life is focused around sexual gratification. Like, you're just continuously trying to prove something to yourself, over and over and over and over again. That's not healthy. I wouldn't follow any men who are like that. Right? And the thing about these men as well is they're very compulsive. They can't control themselves. They lack discipline. I know this. I've been around these players all the time. I told you that they are a certain type of a player, but it's a player I don't understand. Right? I don't understand players who smash and dash women. There's something pathological about that. Why would you smash and dash women? If you can sleep with them, then you can get them emotionally invested in you. If you can get them emotionally invested in you, then they're going to orbit you. Like, you want women orbiting you. That's how I've got all of the good things in life, is through women orbiting me. Right? It's increasing my social life. You want to have loads of different social circles, and women are the pillars of these social circles. Right? You know, so you want to be able to have different checkpoints across England or wherever you are. You know, if you're at that part, wherever you go to meet one of your boys or something like that, you've got a honey there, you've got a honey there, you've got a honey there, you've got a honey there. You got a fridge there, you got a fridge there, you got a fridge there, you got a pillow to lay your head on there. Social life. Right? So you want to have a social life, fellas. You guys, the red pill content that made you run away from, so afraid of the friend zone, and with COVID and stuff like that, you've isolated yourself so much. You don't have a social life, so you're trying to deal with women without a social life. Of course, the only thing you could do is dating apps and cold approaching and pick-up artistry. But that's not good. You don't want cold approaches. If you're going to approach a woman, you want warm approaches. You want women smiling at you, walking into you, flirting with you. Right? Because secretly they know who you are. Or they've seen you about. I don't know. They've seen you with certain other people. They've seen you with people. Right? So you're going to get a whole bunch of warm approaches that way. You know, you just want to set a social life in general. This is how you create entanglements. You create entanglements this way. Right? So you don't even have to approach As I said to you guys, that's how I built my life up. Like, I built my life up in a way where I've always just had a conveyor belt of women. I just know so many women, and these women fancy me. They've been fancying me. They've been waiting their turn. Right? It'd be so easy for me to start dealing. I've got all of these friends that I've had, right? You know? Yeah, I told you how women operate with friends. So you need a social life, fellas, right? So if you guys want to stop being creepy, you need some female friends. Just have female friends. Just get yourself female friends. Just start having female friends. It's so easy. Build a social life. Start being friends with women. If you don't have any 8, 9, or 10 women friends, then start being friends with your 4, 5, and 6 female friends. Be friends with them. Right? And here's another thing as well. If I did not have access to 8, 9s, and 10s, right? If I didn't find it easy to be able to deal with 8, 9s, and 10s, right? That's just one of the lies I get in life, right? If I didn't find it easy to have access to 8, 9s, and 10s, this is just my thing, right? Other people have their thing. Some people are born rich. Some people are born with these different things. My thing is just an influence over women. If I didn't have the influence of 8, 9s, and 10s, I'll be more than happy with my 5, 6, or 7. More than happy with my 5, 6, or 7. Like, what is wrong with that? Right? I'll have 1, 5. I'll invest in it like Bitcoin, take it to the gym, introduce it to some water, give it some greens, some vegetables, teach some sense, discipline it a little bit. I'll turn this 5 into a 7. Every woman could be upgraded at least 2 ranks. I'll turn a 5 into a 7. Do you know how many times I've slept with a 5 and she transformed into a 7 or an 8 after I slept with her because I had no idea how good she looked naked? I had no idea how nice her feet was. The way she arches her back, the noises she makes in sex, the way she gives me head. I didn't know that. I didn't know that she just didn't really dress that well. I didn't know. Oh, my brain was just not telling me she was sexy. I had to have a little session with her to find out she's sexy. So she goes from a 5, now she's an 8 to me. This has happened to me so many times. Do you know how many times women are beautiful? It's very easy for a woman for you to meet a woman who's a 6 and she transforms into an 8 over a couple of years, just through going to the gym, looking after herself, making these minor changes. Fellas, do you know how many beautiful fat women there are? Do you actually understand that? You know, appetite is a sign of good genetics. So a lot of top genetic women are actually fat. Appetite is one of the best signs of good genes, literally. Right? So a lot of really attractive women are actually fat who lack discipline. Do you know how many 5s and 6s out of 10 are just losing weight and gym sessions away from being an 8, 9, or a 10? Do you know how many of these I've met? I've invested in so many of those over time. Literally. I saw those from time. I saw the hip to waist ratio. I saw the beauty, but you just had so much fat. I invest in this thing, look after it. Now it's mine for multiple years. But anyway, guys, I'm going to talk more about this in another video. I love you guys so much. Get yourself some female friends. Every guy that I speak to that is unsuccessful with women, they have no female friends. And they're so incredibly picky. Stop being so picky. I wouldn't be as picky as you guys. Start valuing women for other things. Start valuing them for stuff. I value women for so many things. My life is great because of women. Women have done so much more for me than men have ever done for me. Right? I keep women around me. Never understand smashes and dashes. Why smash and dash them when they're in love with you? I like having women in love with me. I like having women around me and orbiting me. I like having women pretending that they're my friend, but really and truly they're in love with me. I love that shit. I'll string them along. I always have nice things, presents here and there, presents, care, love, a social life. These women will always introduce you to their more attractive friend. Be friends with a 5 or a 6. She will whisper in her friend's ear, you should sleep with him. He's a really, really cool guy. He's funny. He's this. Brothers, have a social life. Start making friends with women. Forget about that whole friend zone stuff. Honestly, forget about it. Start making friends with women. Improve your social life. Improve the amount of warm approaches you can have. Actually get to experience entanglements. Entanglements only come from a social life. Yeah, women are great friends. They've got their flaws, of course. Yeah, they'll chat behind your back. They might backstab you. They might betray you. But all you got to do is destroy them one time. And then they start acting on their best behavior. A lot of men are like that as well. Right? So, you know, a lot of this push and pull dynamics, you learn it from your friends. You learn it from women that you're dealing with. You know, you don't have to kind of like punish. You've got to punish them and reward them as well. You know, so 9 times out of 10, you destroy them one time. Then they really understand what type of time you're on, and then they'll make good friends. I'll do more good friends, and the friends can turn into anything, right? I'll do more on friends and entanglements, and I hope you understand what I'm saying when I'm saying entanglements, right? It's just these intertwined social things that the majority of women are actually engaged in. You know, and if you're a stray dog without a social life, you don't get to enjoy any entanglements. And entanglements can last long periods of time. You know, in and out, in and out, in and out. It's just like this little story, whatever story and narrative. Really and truly, the woman fall in love with stories and narratives. And if you're just cold approaching, pick up artistry, you've only got that 1-2 story, right? But you can't provide them with certain experiences, narratives, and stories that come from social life, entanglements, friends. You know, so yeah, you guys need to learn how to start stringing women along, start adopting some female mating strategy, start utilizing women, stop being so uncomfortable being friends with someone who you know is in love with you, who is secretly in love with you. Level up, learn how to, that's not your problem, that's their problem. Treat them well, love them. Just like what a woman would say, you don't need to do, that's not your problem, that's not your problem. All right? What you need to do, you learn how to just pretend like you can't see it. Pretend, you know, every now and again when she try to make an advance and you just pretend like it didn't happen. Like we did. Right? Whatever it is, you got to go and do. Right? This is a skill for you to learn. There are individuals out there that can't have friends. Right? Like you got to think about a lot of 8, 9's and 10's, beautiful women. A lot of these people can't actually have just normal friends. So they have to get good at managing their friends, you know, and they're going to be best friends. Yeah, she knows her 3 best boy mates are in love with her, and that's why they treat her so well. She knows there's nothing she can do about it. She wants to have friends, so in her mind they're friends. And as a guy, you got to do the same as well. The same thing happens to men. You know, when you're really successful in certain things or whatever like that, you know, you won't be able to have genuine friends. There are many men out as well who struggle to have genuine friends. So you kind of learn to just kind of manage your friends, manage people, treat people, teach people how to treat you, you know, and then you go on and enjoy your life. Right? It's a skill. It's a real skill. You know, even like with women who sleep with like older men because they're rich, that's not easy to do. It's a skill to learn, right? And you fellas, you need to learn this skill as well. It's a skill. You need to learn the skill of being able to string women along, you know, and kind of have that plausible deniability about you, you know, that aloofness, you know, kind of it's just a skill. It's required for networking and a great, vibrant social life. Get used to it. Get used to women wanting you and they're not going to be able to have you. This doesn't mean that you make yourself small. It doesn't mean that you have to die from guilt. It's nothing to feel guilty about. Treat people well in accordance to your own values, and judging by your own capacity. But at the end of the day, that's their fault, it's their responsibility. Everyone has to manage themselves, right? You know, and then with women, when you don't like them, they really like you. That's not your problem. That's their problem, all right? So learn how to be friends, learn how to make friends, learn how to make your boundaries with these friends, learn how to, as I said, with the women, there's a period of time they might betray, they might backstab you. Stop taking it too seriously. Quickly punish them, and then they can go on to become really, really good friends. That's how it works, right? You know, as I said, everything you want lays on the other side of the wall of conflict, right? Go to war and then you enjoy the spoils afterwards. That's how it works. Anyway, guys, love you guys so much. See you on the next one. I'm going to get back to everybody. Give me some time. Show me some patience, please. The heat wave is still here. It's going. When this heat wave goes, you're going to see high levels of productivity. I'm super busy. Got a lot of things going on. Love you guys so much. Please continue to support me. Thank you, guys. Speak to you soon.